Hello guys, and thank you for watching. This video is not going to be as long as I probably want it to be. I've just been really caught up with work this week. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to put the effort into the video that it deserves, so I do apologize about that. But the following video is going to show a very quick analysis on how I personally believe Collingwood will win the game, or if Melbourne will win the game. We'll take a very quick look at what each team has to do in order to win, and what they need to avoid, and a player to look out for. Finals footy is finally here. Let's get to it. So please do remember these are my personal opinions, and if you like these videos, please do subscribe. So for Collingwood to win, I think they will have to rebound the ball very fast. Collingwood are the #1 team at rebound scoring, so I think they need to use this to their advantage. They need to be able to take the ball from their back 50, move it through the guts or through the wing very fast and get it into their forward 50. They've done this all year, that surge footy that we've seen, and it's really worked for them. I think if they can do that, they can put up a very good score and cause some damage against Melbourne. I think the second way that Collingwood can win is if they kick at goal very straight. Now, I know that might sound a little bit silly, but my next thing that I want Collingwood to be able to do if they want to win is to keep the scoring low. So if they kick straight at goals and keep the scoring low, I honestly think they can win this game. Melbourne have scored less than 89 times this year, and out of those 9 times, they lost 6 of those games. So I think if Collingwood keep the score to 80 or less, I think they have a very solid chance at beating Melbourne, which leads me into my next point. The Pies cannot get into a shootout with Melbourne. Although Melbourne are losing a little bit in their forward line, I think this is dangerous for the Pies, as like I said, when the scoring is low, Melbourne have a very good habit of losing. So keep the score low, and I think Collingwood have a very solid chance at winning. And my player to watch for the Pies is none other than Scott Pendlebury. He's already played 28 final games, and win or lose, he will get to 30 games this final series, most likely, if he doesn't get injured, which will put him on 4th for the all-time AFL finals games list. So he might not get 15, 20 disposals, but his experience on the field and where to tell people to go and crucial disposals are probably going to be extremely important for Collingwood. To have that experience in your side is extremely valuable, and for that I think Pendlebury will be a game changer for Collingwood. So now Melbourne's turn. How will Melbourne win this game? And I think it all starts in the midfield. They have much bigger bodies and I think a lot better and more skilled midfield. So I think Melbourne really have to use Clayton Oliver and the likes to get the ball out, and Gawn is going to be absolutely instrumental in doing this. My personal opinion, I think he's the better ruck, and I think if he can give the silver service to his midfielders, Melbourne will have a very solid chance at putting up a very good score and just totally disallow Collingwood to get the ball in the midfield at all, which will then force Collingwood to rely on that rebound 50. But if you can win the ball in the mid, Melbourne are going to have a very, very solid chance at winning. So the second point for Melbourne to be able to win is their forward pressure. Melbourne have the #1 stat for most inside 50s throughout the season, and I believe also the most potent forward line. So Melbourne really have to use this, which ties into my next point, a shootout. Especially as of late, Melbourne have been putting up some very high scores, and like I said previously with Collingwood, I think when they score under 80, they don't perform as well. So when they score 80 plus, 100 plus, most teams have a very good chance at winning. I know that might sound a little bit silly. The more you score, the higher your chance of winning is. Yes, that makes sense. But I think Melbourne have the opportunity to kick goals from multiple locations, like Petrarca, Oliver, Gawn. They can all score goals, and they probably will have to kick some goals in order for Melbourne to win. This leads me to my last point, where I think Melbourne have a little bit of a downfall, is their goal kickers. I believe Tom McDonald has been brought in to assist the forward line, as there's been quite a few injuries very late in the season. Melbourne will have to have multiple goal kickers from different angles, different positions, including the midfield, if they want to beat Collingwood. And this brings me to my player who I think is going to change the game for Melbourne, and that is none other than Petrarca. In the last probably 5 or 6 weeks, we've seen him play in the forward line. Now, I'm not entirely sure if that's due to an injury like he sustained last year, or if it's a little bit of a trick that Simon Goodwin is trying to do. Make your opposition think that he's going to be lining up in the forward line, but he actually starts in the mid. players that can play in the midfield and the forward line are extremely important, as we've seen with Dusty and Petrarca this year. And I think if Petrarca can play both roles, I think that'll be very important. And I think Melbourne can win if Petrarca will kick 2 or 3 goals. So I guess this all comes down to who do I think is going to win. I actually think Melbourne are going to win. I think it's going to be extremely close game. I think the first half is going to be very slow. Each team is going to be feeling each other out. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. Having Darcy Moore back and also Murphy back for Collingwood are massive ins for them. Still, obviously, no Nick Dacos and a couple missing from Melbourne. But I think with Collingwood's momentum at the moment, they've been losing too many easy games, in my opinion, and Melbourne are really clicking into gear. Plus a dominant ruck in Gawn, Oliver's back, and Petrarca. I think between those three, they're going to win the game for Melbourne, and I think Melbourne are going to win by about 7 points. If you like these videos, please do like. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I really do appreciate you watching. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Thanks.